Stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. It's covered. Any changes or additions to the agenda?
I don't have any.
Motion to approve. Agenda is written.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Consent agenda?
Okay, minutes from our last meeting, we have accounts receivable and the accounts payable. The 3-year comparison for the golf course, then we have your cash balance report in there as well, the graph chart. Andrea, do you want to point out the expenses you and I talked about? Or?
Yep, sure. So, on the payables, you're gonna see, there is a bill to, Waseca, DVS for registration for the new F-350. There were, some invoices sent to Bolton and Mink. One was for Safe Routes to School, another one was for the upcoming street project 2022. There was a bill to Northland Recreation, which you guys have already approved, but that was sending off payment for the materials for the Veterans Amphitheater. That was a little over $21,000. We have received those. There was a payment to Northland Trust for a bond payment, which would have been about $34,000. That was for Front Street project back in 2014. And then, which is on the agenda tonight, but then the other one would be pay estimate number 8 to WW Blacktop.
And Michael, I'm sorry it took that long. When Andrea got to her last invoice, I finally got the screen. That's how slow that was. Sorry. Computer was slow, not me.
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Public forum? Nothing? All right. Notice and communications?
I got
Nothing. Council reports?
Utility board met tonight. The AMI project, that's the new meters. Automated meters.
Mm-hmm.
They're looking at projected up and running times for the water side in the spring and electric in the fall. Subject to change, of course, if you can't get the parts and everything in. But that's looking good, and then that's about all I really discussed. Looked at the agenda, or the budget again. That'll get approved next meeting. Pretty light meeting.
Little discussion about some disgruntled.
Before I got there.
Oh, there was a little discussion about some disgruntled residents about the power outages and...
Yeah.
There's been a lot.
We've been experiencing some outages here and there and some low voltage times with the XL, because they're working on the XL line from Highway 60 along East Elysian Lake Road. Nate and I have a meeting with people from XL Wednesday. We're trying to figure out a solution or what can be done about it, because this last time there was a couple of bigger customers that did experience some equipment failures and things like that cost money. So we're working on that end of things right now. But
Are they almost done with the interruption?
no, that's going to go through spring of next year. So.
Why?
Can they give us a heads up that it's coming, or then we can initiate that, we can...
It's something that's happening out there during what they're doing out there, so...
It's not scheduled?
No.
Right now, okay.
No. No.
Any other council reports?
I said another question, we used to have the first meeting of the month was department heads, we don't do that anymore?
Yeah, that's what I was kinda wondering too. The second
Well, we
one.
do, my bad, I took the last council meeting and I started filling out last council's agenda, I didn't even have, they're supposed to, it's supposed to be the first of the month, I'm sorry.
They haven't. Is it mandatory for them yet, or is it?
I thought it was, I mean, 'cause when we reworked the contracts, we made sure that, or not contracts, but like, we made sure that it was known the first meeting of that.
Mhm.
'Cause I remember us three worked on that together.
It's just nice to have some contact with them so they can get what they need out of us and vice versa.
Yes, yes.
You guys still have your monthly meetings?
Well, we normally, the Wednesday before council meetings meet, but we really didn't do that the last few months. I mean, Andrew was gone, we were,
It's hard to do in the summer months when people are on vacation and stuff like that, but
free projects and everything.
Probably the kind of time when the most information needs to be exchanged. They
Yeah,
say
yeah.
it during the busier time, it's probably, most of the winter time's probably not that, other than snow stuff.
I agree with you.
That's my thoughts.
So do we wanna try to sub it in the next meeting, or just skip it for this month, or?
This month, I think.
Okay. You all right with that?
Yeah, that's my mistake, I just said,
It
I didn't
wasn't,
look at the first.
Well.
it wasn't
here
your
anyway.
mistake really, I mean, it's just a known thing for them too, so don't blame yourself.
I will.
We'll suspend you for the rest of the week, how's that sound?
There you go. After the meeting, though.
After the meeting.
After.
As of Tuesday morning.
Oh, really? I was gonna go at noon tomorrow. but-
Oh, there we go.
That's fine.
Do we have any other council reports? No? Okay. Administrator report?
All right, attached in the report is the October reconciliation from the bank, cash balance report, the township, as you know, when we met last September with the townships, we talked about the new 3-year contract. I visited with all the township last week, and they request that the city council meet with the townships again to look at the contract.
Mhm.
So I told them that really it works November 22nd. So I'll send out a letter tomorrow inviting them to the next council meeting, and if they have any questions with the contract, they can certainly ask. In my little paragraph here, I pointed out the three basic changes in the contract. And the bottom line is they will be charged less than what they are currently being charged. Last week sat down with staff at the golf course. We were pretty conservative with our revenues, and we still have a budget that does balance, and that's good news. Golf advisory board will be meeting here in a month, and we'll look at that budget then. The old rescue truck, the city of Darfur, as you guys approved, the city council approved last summer to sell that for $10,000. They came into town last Wednesday, dropped off the check, and drove their truck home. So the old rescue is no longer here.
That money went into the equipment replacement fund for fire department?
Yep, fire department, yep. And then my last report, I did speak with Bolton Mink about the safe routes alternative if we wanted to put the path on the east side of the ditch.
Mhm.
I did get some info from Jason Femright today. The cost of moving it on the east side of the ditch is basically about the same as if we were to put it where we are originally thinking on the west side, so the cost difference really isn't that much. The biggest thing, if we do put it on the east side of the ditch, is that we will have to speak with the Sexton property to possibly buy about .19 acres of their tillable farmland by the ditch there, which is what, 4 end rows? It's not much. But if the council would like, maybe Jason Moran could help us kind of do the attorney stuff, but maybe, is it okay with you if we contact the Sextons and say, are you interested?
You gotta see what the
Yeah,
cost is.
I think
that'd be
so.
the next step, is
Yep.
to get a hold of them and see what the cost is and what the,
Yeah, that's fantastic, thanks for following up on that.
We don't need a motion to proceed with this, you're just,
No.
picking up information, correct?
Yep, exactly. Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's all I have for administrative report. I just was going to mention though that I'm gonna be out a few days here this week looking for Bambi's brother. I'll just be south of town, so if there's any emergencies or whatever come up, I'll be in the area. But just take a few days doing that. That's all I have.
Okay.
Motion to approve. Administrative report.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Old business, pay estimate number 8.
Yes, last Thursday was it, I believe? I got pay estimate number 8 for the 4th Street, the 2020 project. It's about $13,000 and it covers the seed and fertilizer and mulch that was recently put in earlier this fall. It's $13,000, like I say, and if you look about halfway down your screen, we still have the 5% retainage. That $85,000 is 5% of the project. That remains on retainer until we make the final payment to WW. That's generally how we do that. So it's a nice pay estimate, basically pays for that seed and mulch and fertilizer that they did a few weeks back.
So we pay for warranty work out of that? I would classify that as warranty work, wouldn't it? And get the job done right the first time, so we get stuck with the cost of then redoing it?
I guess I'd know that's,
Well,
come in and.
Was it scheduled, were they scheduled to do this anyways?
No. I think so, were they?
Every street project, they come in the next summer and they patch up the things that need, like with Market Street, Front Street, First Street. They usually come in because we generally kind of have a history of grass not growing, with our projects here the last few years.
They got my bins really well, full of grass seed. That was nice, because they came in on a Wednesday morning, just sprayed my recycling and garbage bin, covered in it. It was nice.
Original spraying or the
Hmm?
respraying?
The one, yeah. That was a good time.
So is that like a punch list item for like completion, or is that?
Those items that they did we called saying, you gotta redo this, but there will be a final inspection, there will be a final list written, before the final payment is made to WW.
Is that gonna get pushed back to next year? Or is that still going on this year, the punch list? It's getting pretty late in the year, is what I'm asking.
I'm assuming it will be next spring probably.
Okay.
I'm assuming so, because it's, like you say, the second week of November already.
Getting pretty late to be doing it.
Technically, it's the 8th, so it is the second week, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'd make a motion to approve to pay estimate number 8. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Clinton, you wanna talk about the schedule for
Yeah.
stuff down here?
So just kind of want to quickly go over this here with you guys. The flooring is going to begin to be replaced, the carpet tore out, the tile put in the week of Thanksgiving, and that's going to be kind of in conjunction with our HVAC system. Most of the material, or all of the material, will be in by then, so both outfits will work in different rooms and kind of work together as far as that goes. What we are going to do is, I'm just going to make it simple, behind Andrea's desk, we're going to begin in that corner. That's where our server is, and they propose that we rip the carpet out of that half of the room, the south half of the room, get all that out and get the tile going and let the grout and everything dry. We were talking with them about schedules, actually Marley was. Friday is normally the slowest day of the year for us, the Friday after Thanksgiving. So we're gonna go offline on Wednesday afternoon. We will not have phones, internet, email, fax machine, we won't have anything on Friday. And probably midday Monday, they'll be able to get our server back on. By then, the south half of that room should be done. And then we can, we'll plug everything back in and then it'll be business as normal. We don't want that, yeah, exactly, right, we don't want, I mean, obviously you don't want to disrupt services, but it's just one of those things we've talked about. A lot of people think we're closed that day, because a lot of government is that day after Thanksgiving, but it's generally a slow day, so we're just I'm gonna come in here and unlock the doors and help them out a little bit, and
I make a suggestion, why don't we just close that day so they can get the work done and they're not having public bothering them?
well, and that's true, and I'll be here, but I'm gonna mention to people, I can't look your bill up, because nothing works. Sure.
Can't do anything.
And have staff, who's ever here helping with what's going on. I think it's the right thing to do. I mean, it's gonna be chaos, but can't look anything up anyway for anybody, so
Right.
just put the notice out that we're closed and...
And I think we'll be doing that, social media and everything, and doing with the newspaper, and, maybe I'll even call it county news and just ask them to put a blurb in there, but
Perfect.
it's one of those things, and all the years we've all been part of this, Mike, how long have you been? We've never had a day that we were closed for business because of,
Well,
it's very, very
it
rare.
happens, so.
It just happens, so. So if anybody calls, asks, or, has concerns about that, just please explain to them. It's the best we can do. We didn't have a choice. We had to unplug everything and make the improvements.
Traditionally, there's
We'll blame
one or
Clinton.
two people show up anyway.
Okay,
If you
yeah.
don't close, it'll be open.
Clinton.
Okay.
Well, do we need to look at being closed on Monday too, is the question?
I don't think so, because Dan will be here Monday.
Yeah, he's gonna be here Monday and trying to get everything back together in that spot the way he would like it now.
Why don't we close until noon on Monday so we can get everything up and running, so you guys aren't getting bombarded with stuff logistically, if you don't have your computers up and running and you can't look stuff up, people coming in asking you questions probably aren't gonna get answered anyway.
Maybe our announcement will be, we plan to open around noon on Monday.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you need a motion to close, or?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think we're good.
New business.
Each year, this time of year, we adopt a resolution that transfers certain budgeted monies into the appropriate funds. For example, the fire fund, we transfer money into the fire fund, the revolving loan fund for the EDA, and then the sewer fund as well. So this resolution you're looking at, they're all budgeted items that we approved, last January. Now we're just officially transferring, and the auditors always want us to have the paper trail. The resolution approves that. So that's what resolution number 32 is.
Motion to approve resolution 32.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Snow and ice policy.
Yes, attached is a snow and ice policy and procedures that we adopt every fall for, the upcoming season. It's the same as it has been. The one item we did talk about, earlier this winter is sidewalk removal of those nuisance violations. Joel Zimke did find an individual in town that would be willing to help us with this. If there's a sidewalk that needs replaced, it's probably gonna be 2 or 3 times a winter, but the gentleman will come and do it. And I think he said he's gonna charge like $75 an hour, so if it takes 20 minutes, we'll give us a $30 bill or whatever. So I think that's the best way of doing it. Once upon a time, we were talking about buying the sweeper and all that stuff, but this is better.
And
Son.
that cost ultimately gets passed on to the
Yes, I forgot.
the customer anyway, so.
Yeah, we'll invoice them, and just like anything else, if they don't pay, we'll assess the property.
Yep.
Okay.
And that'll be complaint driven, like we talked about.
Yes.
Correct.
Give them a notice, and if they don't do it, then...
That isn't addressed in here though, right?
And that's a nuisance though,
Yeah,
so
that's-
the nuisance
there's a
levy will
nuisance.
be- Yeah, right, exactly, yep.
Well, that's good, that'll be done.
At least to have a plan in place this year.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Other than that, there hasn't been any changes with the snow and ice policy?
No,
Okay.
make a motion to approve the snow and ice policy, resolution 33.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.